Picture this. You're Princess Anne, you've just traveled 400 miles in one day. Because apparently teleportation isn't in the royal handbook yet. And your husband has mysteriously vanished from the guest list like he's pulled a proper Houdini act. But here's the kicker. Buckingham Palace themselves put his name down. Then went, oops, our bad. Faster than you can say God save the king. What in the blazes is going on with Sir Timothy Laurence? And why is the palace playing hide-and-seek with guest lists? Today, we're diving headfirst into the most baffling royal administrative cock-up of 2025. Welcome back to Royal Cookies, where we serve up the crunchiest royal gossip with a side of proper British wit. I'm your host, and if you love getting the inside scoop on royal drama that's more twisted than a pretzel at a German Christmas market, then you've come to the right place. So here's what happened this week, and honestly, it's giving me more confusion than trying to understand cryptocurrency. Princess Anne's husband, Sir Timothy Laurence, appeared to be absent from Tuesday's garden party, with confusion surrounding his attendance, despite his name being listed in a press release from Buckingham Palace. Now, let me paint you a picture of how bonkers this situation is. Imagine you're throwing a dinner party, you send out invitations with your mate Dave's name on it. Everyone expects Dave to show up with his famous potato salad, and then Dave just doesn't materialize. But instead of calling Dave to ask where the hell he is, you just shrug and say, "Oh, Dave was never supposed to come anyway." Administrative error. That's essentially what happened here, except replace Dave with a vice admiral who happens to be married to the hardest working royal in the business, and replace the potato salad with, well, whatever one brings to a royal garden party. Probably not potato salad. 400 miles. In one day. That's like having breakfast in London and popping over to Edinburgh for afternoon tea. Except instead of a casual social call, you're fulfilling royal duties that probably involve more handshaking than a politician during election season. Now, while Princess Anne is out there single-handedly keeping the royal schedule from falling apart. Because let's be honest, she's basically the royal family's equivalent of duct tape, holding everything together. Her husband is playing the ultimate game of Where's Waldo? Except nobody bothered to tell Waldo he was supposed to be in the picture in the first place. This is the same Princess Anne who, need I remind you, continued working after being hospitalized with a concussion earlier this year. The woman got trampled by a horse. Well, had an incident as the palace so delicately puts it, and was back to work faster than most people recover from a hangover. But here's what really gets me about this whole situation. Princess Anne is 74 years old, and she's out here traveling distances that would make a touring rock band weep, while the rest of us need 3 days to recover from a trip to IKEA. Sir Timothy Laurence is not your average royal husband, and I mean that in the best possible way. This is a man who married Princess Anne in 1992. That's over 30 years of marriage, which in royal terms is practically eternal. For context, that's longer than some constitutional monarchies have existed. In January 2025, Laurence was forced to pull out of an official visit to South Africa with Princess Anne after suffering from a torn ligament while working on their estate, Gatcombe Park. So we know the man's been having a rough start to the year. First, he tears a ligament, probably doing something incredibly mundane like gardening or fixing a fence, because that's the kind of practical, down-to-earth couple Anne and Timothy are. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Timothy Laurence is not just some random bloke who married into the royal family and now spends his days cutting ribbons and waving at crowds. This man is a vice admiral in the Royal Navy. He's got more military medals than an antique shop, and he's been appointed chairman of the Science Museum Group. In other words, he's the kind of person who probably has his schedule planned out to the minute. So when someone like that just doesn't show up to something he's supposedly meant to attend, and then the palace goes, oops, clerical error. Oh well, that's either the most embarrassing administrative blunder since someone forgot to invite half the Commonwealth to the last coronation, or there's something else going on here. Now, this wasn't just any garden party. We're not talking about a casual affair with cucumber sandwiches and complaints about the weather. The event was connected to the Not Forgotten Association, which is a charity that's been around since 1920, providing support and entertainment for ex-servicemen and women with disabilities. So this isn't a let's have a nice afternoon tea situation. This is a let's honor people who served their country situation. Princess Anne has been connected to this charity for years, and she takes it seriously. The last time she hosted this specific event was in 2022. And guess what? Timothy was there with bells on. So what's different this time? Here's what's absolutely mind-boggling. Someone at the palace thought it was important enough to include Timothy's name in the official press release. Press releases don't just happen. They go through multiple people, get checked, double-checked, and probably triple-checked because one wrong word and you've got the entire British press corps asking awkward questions. Yet somehow, Timothy's name made it all the way through this bureaucratic obstacle course, got printed in official palace communications, and then someone went whoops, never mind, like they were cancelling a dentist appointment. Right, let's address the elephant in the room, or should I say, the missing vice admiral in the garden party. Princess Anne has built a reputation as the royal family's straight talker. The one who says what everyone else is thinking but is too polite to voice. She's like that aunt who tells you your haircut looks ridiculous, but you secretly appreciate the honesty. And now she has to deal with palace administrative incompetence? That's like asking someone who's survived a zombie apocalypse to also deal with a particularly annoying Wi-Fi outage. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I want to know if you're Team Sophie or if you think I'm seeing green where there's just good fashion sense. If you're obsessed with royal strategy and environmental impact like I am, make sure you're subscribed to Royal Cookies because we're serving up the most sustainable royal content on YouTube. And remember, in a world full of fast fashion and royal scandals, sometimes the most revolutionary thing you can do is wear your values on your sleeve, preferably in a gorgeous shade of green. Sophie's proving that environmental activism isn't just about what you do, it's about who you become. Until next time, keep munching on those eco-friendly royal cookies.